Well, here we are, the Grande Pacific, and we're back to scenery work. Since we have all kind of time now, since we'll make this a little bit of a political statement, we don't have to waste our times on Sunday afternoons anymore, or Monday night or Thursday night. We'll get back to work on the railroad. See? There's always something else to do, people. So, we're fixing up the scenery here at Rocky Loop and Eagle Pass. So, kind of give you an idea of the kind of grand mess that gets made into this. We'll kind of try to put this together in a video and piece some of the way it was into it. This tunnel here is the part going up around underneath, and as you can see, if you kind of know about this, there's a lot of steps going to this. One of the steps is blacking out the tunnel, and yeah, they go back in there and paint the wall black. Because if you look through the tunnel, you know, then you get to run it, you'll see the blue wall back there. So, and then you had to paint the foam that was put up there on the inside black before you do it. We had to paint the rails. We had to fix all the rails, paint them before we get started. Soon we're going to have to get, we're putting all this foam in place. It's glued so it'll all stick together. Then what we'll do is we'll shape it with the hot knife, and then we're going to come in and put cow coat to fill in where, you know, make it look more like the natural rocks. Now, as a side light, we're going to have we're going to put a piece of track in, and if I can find it here, I'll show you. Look, another tunnel. And it'll go right about here. So we put the cork back in here. That's kind of in the way, but we put the cork back in there, running into the back, and got to weight it down. It's drying. And we'll put the track on before we close it up. This will be one of those tunnels to an abandoned branch line type thing. What it'll do for me is it's going to come around, and I have this 36-inch radius curve switch here, which is going to fit right in here, and that track will come off, and then it'll go down here past the drill and tape measure, and it'll go right into the tunnel. What I'm going to do is it'll be a kill track, either with a ground throw. I hope to do it with a ground throw. Really don't want to figuring out how to put the switch machine in, but if I have to, I will. But hopefully I can just do it with a ground throw and kill the track back there, and I can put my engines that are up here tolling, get them out the way. Just set the engines back there. Okay. So, or we could call it an interchange with another railroad. So, whatever. Just more activities. That's where we are. The big piece of foam in the back is going to be the next tier, but I got to finish all the stuff in the front before I can start on the big piece that goes behind this. You live and learn, because we're standing up inside the helix to do work from the backside on the corners over here. So, got to go paint some stuff black so I can glue it in place till we get to the next piece. Okay, don't know where we went. Okay, here we are again today with the railroad overnight. Most of this dried. We've added a few pieces on this morning. It's in the process of drying. Those picks for picking cars for uncoupling come in handy with the styrofoam. Hold it in place while the glue's drying. And we've taken the hot knife right there to the styrofoam, and believe me, most of that is just going to be painted. we'll fill in the cracks and the bad spots, like right here. We'll fill all that in with the Calcoat 127, which you'll see here in a little bit. Dave's outside mixing some up now. And we're working on doing it. The spot right there, the black square, those buildings right there go right there. Okay, that'll be the town of Eagle Pass. Okay, we have to put the road in and all that stuff coming in, but we'll cover that as we go. We're going to go back here in the corner, put the tops on the tunnels, and kind of build all that up. And we're going to take the hot knife to this wall here and build in some stuff in there to kind of fill in the mountain. And after that, then we're going to go back and we're going to work on that piece of foam back there, but we're going to have to mount it. It goes right on that edge right there on the other side of those tracks. So as you look here, you will see a continuous mountain range. All right. So on with the story here. Okay, good morning. Here we are back at the Grande Pacific Model Railroad, or Railroad. And the Calcoat 127 is dried enough. It's the gray, the Calcoat is the gray on the styrofoam, that we can start putting the paint on it. This is an absolute must. You have to put paint over the Calcoat. It'll flake off, and believe me, you don't want this stuff in your engines. But anyway, this is our scene, and we've started painting. Oh gee, there's that white bottle and a brown bottle of paint. Okay, they've come out of hiding after some preparations this morning. So we put the brown coat on, then we take some white paint and smear it over the top. And this isn't a case that you really push hard. You just kind of let the white paint stick to what's sticking out. And thus you get the coloration. Now we got some other things we got to go to do. We got to go get our weeds. Sprinkle our weeds on while it's wet. And then it dries. It's just like glue. Save you a step there, people. All right. So, this is it for this morning. We're going to continue on, see how much we can get this painted. And then we're going to go cut the grass. All right. Well, here we are, Sunday night. We got the paint on. Started to play with the wall a little bit. See what that's going to look like. Never can tell about my mountains. We need to work on this. When we put the buildings back, probably that's where they're going to go. Have to get a road up here. We get the thing, and then we have to get the crossing across the tracks, and then the station goes here. This is Eagle Pass. Then we'll have to bring the road across the tracks, but we got a switch to install first, and then the road will have to go out here into the you know, where the rest of the town is, you know, out here in the aisle. Oh well, got to justify getting this road in here. But anyway, this is where we're headed. The next step in this project is right back there, that big white piece of foam. I have to build a frame to set it on right here at this level, right behind that second piece of blue tape. It'll sit right on that corner there, but we have to build a frame to hold the whole thing up there. Then we're going to take it out, put it on a table out in the driveway, carve it up out there, eliminate the mess in here, paint it, do all that, bring it in, and then we'll fill it in. And right now, I think where it goes, those two tracks bend around, we're going to have a cut. I don't see another tunnel. I think we're going to make it a cut down there in between. And of course, then you won't see the rest of the stuff back behind it, including, you know, all that area back there. But we have a big surprise for the wall back here. But we got to get all the stuff in first so we can get the sight line in. But now I know what I'm going to put on the wall back here, and it'll eliminate me having to paint the wall. Okay, all right. So this is where we are, the Grande Pacific. And it's September the 30th, 2017, and the scenery progresses. I would like to thank all the people who demonstrated and basically turned me off from watching any more football. So we have plenty of time now to go work on the railroad. Okay, see, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Bye. Okay, well, we had to go back and put a little more mud on the mountain in the back there to fill in some cracks that shouldn't be showing. And, you know, fix them up on stuff. So we have to let that dry overnight, then repaint. Get it. But meanwhile, we built the frame that holds the styrofoam in place. Got to cut that edge, and then we'll fill in that. That's simply done with a piece of foam. Nothing fancy there. So we can get all this done, and then we'll carve up this big thing here into a mountain range. Fun and games. Give you the idea how thick that piece of foam is. It's 5.5 inches thick. Got to be about 1.5 feet high. I didn't measure the height on it. But just where we are, keep plugging away here. One step at a time. And believe me, this does get arduous. Okay, so finally you see the big block of styrofoam. And the Rocky Mountains. Look, gee whiz. Okay, got the idea? Yeah, the next film, I'm going to see if I can get my darling wife out here. Let her be the photographer, and I'll do some carving with the knife, so you can see how it all works. But that's just nothing, plain old beadboard styrofoam, people. And we're going to put paint on this, and that's about it. There might be a few spots that I've kind of let the knife slip through that would allow light to come through from the back that I'm going to have to plug up with a little cal coat. But I'm going to paint it first and then see where where those spots fall. But there you go. It's really, really simple. The hot knife is hot, and this is a trigger right there on the finger. And believe me, people, this is warning. This is very hot, so be careful what you do. You can get yourself burned real quick. So we got an area here, and we're going to try to make some more mountain here. So we're kind of cutting it in half, and we come across and get in here and cut it down in here. Can't go all the way through because we're trying to leave an edge that this is all going to sit on. So you got to think about what you're cutting in this case. So we just pull this piece out, and then you can cut this down here. Now, as you cut, you notice that the styrofoam is not even. One of the things you can do to create a little more relief is get in here and just lay the hot knife on the foam, and it, believe me, it melts it. So it's a good way to do it. Just be creative. Need to think about where you're going to make your next cut. This is another peak in the back here, so we'll go down here and we'll cut it out like so to give it a peak in the back. And then we'll come across here like this, which would be a natural fall from Mother Nature, and cut it in like that. And then you got kind of like take the edges. But anyway, it's being creative. Where's the white button? Well, here we have instant mountain range. So all these years you've been looking at that big piece of styrofoam and you've been wondering. Okay, so you haven't been wondering. Oh, anyway, here it is in all of its glory. Now we're going to make mountains out of it. So we're going to paint it. Let's go get the brown, the white, the paint, the weeds, and the dirt. And let's try to make it look like something. So, as time goes on, we now get to work on the detail for the Eagle Pass and Rocky Loop scenery project. Well, here we are again, back at the Grande Pacific and the Eagle Pass Rocky Loop project. We've installed our crossings. We found out we had some pieces of strip wood, whole bunches of wood actually, and we made up individual pieces and cut them and glued them in place so they fit in the curve. The largest radius sold by Blair is 30 inches, and this is 36-inch plus radiuses here. So we have that done. You see the unpainted wood. We're in the process right now of painting it. We've got the station depot track in back installed. We're putting in a passenger platform back here. We have a grade crossing back here for the road. Water tower's in the wrong place, but that's okay. And that's our little brown paint bottle, and this is our rail painting brush. So we've got all this done here, and as time marches on, we're now into today's Friday, October the 13th. It's Friday the 13th today, so we're staying low, you know. Okay, staying out of the black cat's way today. So got everything kind of laid out. We're going to get the cowl coat out here, and the cowl coat's going to fill in all those holes for the platform. It's going to make a road. We're going to fill in here. And, of course, the road comes out here to where the rest of the town is, you know, out here in the aisle. Okay, you got the idea. So, then we have to figure out kind of what we're going to do here in the back with the flood loader. I'm going to have to go get the conveyors out, see how this is going to work. Whether we can run it back here to a little building or to a building or something back here. Gonna have to figure that one out, because once we start getting this thing finished, we don't want to be going in the back trying to work on something back there. You start reaching, leaning over, things get destroyed. So anyway, there's the depot car at the current time that's supposed to be in the depot, but we're working on that. So, and we got our coal train parked down here in the Rawlins branch line and by the tolling yard. Yeah, and we test run all this for clearances on the track so nothing hits. And it all looks good. It all works. We're up here painting track up here at 2 on the loop. But as you run into sometimes what happens, some reason, some of the track, the paint doesn't stick to it real well. So you kind of let it go over once, got to let it dry, and then come back and do it over again. It's one of the areas where if you could spray paint, you would have an advantage. But still big deal. Reaching this is a bigger deal. Because some of this I'm going to have to go back in the middle of the helix, remove the mountain range, and then work on this. That's one thing about that piece of mountain right there, that big foam block, as you know it. It's just sitting there. And I do not plan. I was one time thought I was going to glue it in place. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to leave it just sit there, because that way if I have to, I can move it. Because you can't lean over the top of it to get in the corners back here. So anyway, back to painting and getting ready for Cal Coat on the places where we got to put the road in and all that. And we'll come back and cover that. Okay, well, we've poured the mud here, or as I call it, Cal Coat 127. That's the product we're using, insulation product. The old bucket with the tools. Got to go clean this out. So, now we got to let it dry. Come back and clean up everything. Repaint a lot of stuff, because it to clean up, the only way you're going to get rid of a lot of the white that gets down the track and stuff is to paint over, to clean it up best you can, then paint over it. But this is it's going to take a while for this to dry. I would say before I can work on this and paint it gray and put the street in and all that, it'll be Sunday, today being Friday. So it's not a quick drying material, which is great because you got plenty of time to work with it. This took over an hour to get all this in. So, you know, this isn't hydrocal, so you got plenty of time. Okay, so we're off to eat dinner. Bye. Well, or should I say so to get this correct. Here we are. It's Eagle Pass and the Rocky Loop project. And granted, we're missing all the trees. Got to go get the tree making machine. We got a whole bunch of trees to finish this scene. And of course, all the detail, a lot of ground cover and that kind of stuff is missing. But this is, we'll make up a video and put this up. At this point, we'll cover some of the other things, like what we're going to do back there with the flood loader and all the scenery. And we got a bunch of things to paint there, and whether or not we're going to do the big backdrop scene back here painted, or with some other backdrop material. So we got tractor ballast and the detail will go on. But this is was pretty much where we are now, and we'll continue on with the project. But you know, big punch of this scenery's done now, and this has been about working on this about 3 weeks. Now, not a whole lot of hours put in every day, but the big thing is you have to stop and let everything dry. So we sneak the Intermountain engines through here, and our set of GM&O specials sitting back here waiting. This will put a wrap on this, and we're going to make up a video of the whole project, giving our people an idea of what it takes to get something done. Like I said, a lot more things to do here, but we'll cut it off as far as the video and do it, and then we'll just add it on to the next piece. So here we are. This is the Eagle Pass Depot in the Rocky Loop as it goes around to climb up. So another great adventure on the Grande Pacific Model Railroad.